Now, therefore, the County Board of Virginia does hereby proclaim March 2025 as Women's History Month in Arlington County and encourages all residents to join in honoring our history and celebrating the contributions of all women. Thank you.
When I started WOW back in, 2018, there were just a handful of ERGs, and WOW had a very large presence almost immediately. Like, women were eager to talk about women's issues in the workplace. And I think that speaks to people looking for relationships, connections.
To see women in positions of power, to be able to see women accomplishing goals, it does something for all of us. It lifts us all up. Doing these types of events are important all the time, but I think now things are very toxic in our culture, in our community. There is a lot of polarization that's happening. So it makes these types of events even more meaningful.
And how we respond as individuals, as a community, a society, a nation, depends on how each of us answers the call to action. Each of us has a responsibility to take small acts. As the librarian for the county, the head librarian, if you will, I would say read. Take a small step, read a book. Read a book by a banned author. Read a book about someone that you don't know very much about. Read books about men, about women, about Hispanics, about trans people, because that's how we learn, that's how we build acceptance, and that's how we understand that we're not just one thing. We are a number of things. We are multitudes, and that's how we come together as a community and as a society.
Here was the first place I felt I belonged. Here was the first place that felt like home. Here is a place I will fight for. Thank you.
Not every local government has a room that is filled during Women's History Month to talk about women's history and women's value. The history of women's progress, it's the women who get a little bit further, grabbing the hand of the woman behind them and pulling them up along with them.
And sometimes it's really hard to accomplish hard goals, but what I have to realize is that there have been others before me, and there's others in front of me, and that we're all going to lift each other up.
Like, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to hide my head in the sand. The people I know and love and cherish aren't going to do that either. And so just taking those little steps, those acts, having an event like we had today to celebrate Women's History Month and talk about, yeah, it's a challenge, but we're not giving up. It's a challenge, but we're going to sing together. It's a challenge, but we're going to raise the roof with strong voices and say, we will survive.